And I think I'd like to thank Muhammad for being very honest, because I think this is a lot of people's problems. They think that weight loss is a place where it's dark and lonely, and you take away all my joy and I have no life other than my food and my cigarettes. But the thing you need to know now is you're addicted. That's why you can't quit, okay? Because logic, and I'm sure you're a very smart person, you know that it's not good for you, okay? You're addicted to both food and cigarettes, okay? You might have an addictive personality where you tend to get attached to things and feel the need to have it's almost like having a padding around you, that's your comfort zone, So you have like a circle around you, which is like your float. That's what helps you stay alive. So you have the food and the cigarettes and the family, and if any of these go, you feel naked, you feel bare, okay? It's the same thing with fat. Fat acts like a padding, like a barrier. This is me, and this is my padding, and this is the rest of the world. It's a protection, okay? So when you want to lose weight, and when somebody tells you, I'll take away your cheese, and I'll take away your comfort food, and I'll take away your cigarettes, it's like saying, okay, I'll take away everything, and then you'll stay bare facing the world with nothing around you. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. It's very uncomfortable. The same thing with weight loss. A lot of people put their own obstacles to weight loss, because if they lose the weight, they don't know who they are anymore. That shield that they've put up that is protecting them from everything else has gone. So my question to you is, do you feel that you will be out of control? Do you feel that you don't want to face the world without having this padding, or without having, because they're all related, the cigarettes, the comfort eating, and the weight gain, they're all related. So the question I want to ask is, I want you to go into yourself and find out who you really are, because everything else is just padding. There is a Muhammad deep inside who's different from all of this. He's trying to come out, but it's very uncomfortable for him, because you forgot who that person is. You've been like this, I don't know how long, but I assume you've been like that for a long time. And in the process, you've accumulated more and more baggage. So now you're walking with all these emotional issues and all this food addictions and other addictions that you don't remember what it's like to walk without them. Okay, so the question to you is, we'll talk about the cigarettes in a minute. Go deep inside and find out who you really are, because everything else is just extra. And once you find out who that person really is, I don't know, was there a time in your childhood where you felt out of control? A lot of people who, I don't know anything about you, but in general, people who, for example, in childhood, their parents separate, for example, or their parents divorce, or they change schools or something, and they feel very out of control and they feel very uncomfortable. So they need protection. They need to protect themselves. They need to put a wall between them and the world. It's a survival mechanism. Okay? So if I take down that wall, then I'm completely bare. Then I go right back to that time in childhood when I was completely exposed and I had no padding around me. Okay? So you accumulate padding, but the wrong way. Instead of boosting yourself up with self-improvement things and courage and seeing who you really are and what you really want, you end up doing it the wrong way, because you don't even know why you started doing it in the first place. Does that make sense? Do you feel that that's part of what happened? Yeah? So the question is, it's not about the cigarettes. It's about an addiction, because maybe you feel out of control. And you might want to put everything else in order before you start reaching that.
Yeah. But then, that takes time, putting everything in order.
Of course it takes time. Yeah, it takes time. But you know what? You might spend the next 50 years. If you didn't come here today, you might be 50 years later and still in the same situation. 50 years. He wants to win the car. But you know what? He could still win the car. It doesn't take that much time, because Muhammad is inside there. Yeah, it's a big challenge. And sometimes you come face to face with who you really are. You don't always like it, but you have to face it. And when you do face it and you deal with it, then you can really go anywhere you want. Because we might be talking about cigarettes today, tomorrow it might be ice cream, the day after, because this wall that you're putting up wants to accumulate padding. It wants to block everyone out. So you read the book and you think, okay, there's a smoking rule, close the book. I can't do that because I'm not going there, because something is telling you, it's a red siren that's saying, don't go there. She's asking you to bear yourself, and you can't. But you can. Why not? Well, who are you? Who are you really without the cigarettes, without the food? Who are you? Once you can answer that question, honestly, then it will really be much easier. I'll give you an easy detox to do, okay, to just start. But very, very important. If Muhammad is smoking and detoxing at the same time, highly unrecommended. Okay? Why do you think it's not recommended? Why do you think he shouldn't detox while he's smoking?
That is the biggest toxin he's giving.
Yeah, because he's bringing in, so it's like cleaning the house and dust and bringing in dust at the same time. It's not going to work. Okay? The other thing is when you detox, all the toxins from your fat cells, because toxins, everything that is toxic to the system, it comes into your body, and it's not supposed to be running around through your heart and your kidneys and all these important organs, okay, because it's dangerous. So if you smoke a cigarette and you have this cadmium and carbon monoxide coming in from the cigarette, it goes into your system, you inhale it, it goes through the blood, but it has to quickly be removed from the blood, because you can't have that circulating around your heart, because if there's all that cadmium around your heart, you'll die. Okay? So where does the body put the toxins? Once they come in and it's dangerous for them to be running around, where does it put them? Liver is one place that they accumulate, but the liver is quite small as an organ, and he has, I don't know how many years of smoking. Where does it put the excess? Fat. Very good point. Okay? Now, if there is so much toxins coming in and not enough fat cells, where does it put it? No. Makes more fat cells. That's why toxins make you fat. Let's say I live in this place, okay, and I have a lot of papers and files to be stored, okay? I have one cupboard space, so I file them in that cupboard space. And then over the years, I accumulate more and more papers and files and stuff. What do? I build more cupboard space. So what your body is doing is basically it's building more storage space for all these toxins. The more toxic you are, the more weight you will gain, because it needs to put it somewhere. So, which brings another point, when you detox and when you lose weight, both, the toxins will be coming out. You know, a lot of people, sometimes they go on a diet and they start losing weight and they start going crazy at the same time. They get depressed, or they get angry, irritable, all kinds of symptoms. It's because all these toxins that were stored in the fat have nowhere to go now, because you've lost the fat, and they start going back into circulation. Now, you're not detoxing, so your body doesn't know how to efficiently get rid of them, or get rid of them fast enough. So they're going through the brain and they're going through the heart, and they're causing symptoms that's why it's not recommended to lose 10 kilos in a week. Ideally, yeah, sure, why not? But why isn't everybody doing it? Why do we always say safe weight loss, safe weight loss? Because there's a lot more in fat stores than just fat. There's a lot of toxins, there's a lot of emotions in fat stores. Now, if you were to lose weight, or anyone else that loses weight, you'll find you'll become more emotional in the process. Things come up. Why do they come up? Because they're stored in our cells. And when you shed them, you're shedding part of yourself. And everything that we have from childhood or from adult life or whatever, everything that we have that we think we're trying to forget, and we shove it down in the back of our mind, where does it go? It has to go inside the cells of the body. I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you've had a massage and you feel very emotional afterwards. Or you go home and you have a fight with your husband or with your wife. And things have come up. When you massage cells, they release. And they release whatever emotion you've held inside them. Okay, now for some people this might be the first time they hear this, but this is true. You know, we always think, oh, this is fat, I don't want it, I don't like it. But this is yours. It's your fat, it's your cells, it's observing your own life, and it's storing things from it.